Chapter 7. Religions and Ancient Documentation. Part 2. Energy/vibration. Now let's take a look at our ancient documentation and see where energy comes into play. There's got to be an explanation of this phenomena, right? Cross-checking ancient knowledge with modern science has shown us so far already that our ancient documenters had an understanding of the sciences relating to the beginnings of our universe, so it would only make sense that they were taught about what the human body is capable of too, right? It only makes sense. Why would these higher beings come to humans and say, here's the explanation to the beginning of the universe and a rough outline as to how your planet and galaxies are built, good luck? Sounds pretty incomplete and irresponsible to me. If we were given so much information about the beginnings of our 3D universe, then there has to be explanations on the beginning of mankind and perhaps a user manual. No one just comes into existence and knows everything, otherwise I wouldn't be writing this for you now, right? Let's dive into it a little more. The explanation of energy and vibration through ancient documentation has been called many things like ki or ki, prana or sit, ruah, the essence, vital energy, vibration, etc. All the same thing, just described in different a manner. Our energy pulsates through our bodies, or is supposed to, anyway, through gateways in our bodies that feed the energy onto the next gateway within our body. These gateways are what is called chakras, normally pronounced as chakras or chakras. Much like energies such as gravity or heat, this is not necessarily a part of the body that we can see, but an energy flow within the body, nonetheless. Another note. I pulled explanations of energy through different places on the internet for this, because of the convenience and simplicity of the explanations held within. The references for each will be given, but again, I urge you to read the original religious documents for yourself. As simply as I try to put everything, there is still much more to be gained from the original writings as opposed to the simplified, basic understanding or any other reference I'm giving/using. I am merely portraying that there was an understanding of these things prior to our present sciences.
Atheism/Hinduism/Buddhism. From Wikipedia.com. In Hindu metaphysical and tantric/yogic traditions and other belief systems, chakras are points or knots in the subtle human body. They are located at the physical counterparts of the major plexuses of arteries, veins and nerves. Chakras are part of the subtle body, not the physical body, and as such are the meeting points of the subtle, non-physical, energy channels, called nadis. Nadis are channels in the subtle body through which the life force, prana, or vital energy moves. Various scriptural texts and teachings present a different number of chakras. There are many chakras in the subtle human body according to the tantric texts, but there are 7 chakras which are considered to be the most important ones. Their name derives from the Sanskrit word for wheel or turning, but in yogic context a better translation of the word is vortex or whirlpool. The concept of chakra features in tantric and yogic traditions of Hinduism and Buddhism. Taoism. From houseforks.com. Chi is a primal substance that animates the universe in Taoism, a mysterious force introduced to us by ancient Chinese myths and legends that have also told us about the Takai and about Tao. Chi is the force that sets the world and everything in it into motion. Chi is also that force that sustains all things once they are created. The idea of Chi, the Taoist concept of Chi, is not easily accepted by Westerners. It is not a concept that appears in our mainstream religions or philosophies. Neither do our medical and scientific traditions acknowledge Chi or even have any place for it in their theories. In China and the Orient, however, the Taoist concept of Chi is very familiar, even commonplace. Everyone, from politicians to school children, understands it. The notion of Chi and its applications are as much a part of Chinese life and outlook as are the ideas of muscle tone and physical fitness in Western life. Easterners believe Chi to be the life energy contained within matter. In experiments conducted in the 1960s, nuclear physicists in China came to accept the notion that Chi is actually a low-frequency, highly concentrated form of infrared radiation. In the last decade, experiments in China have been conducted on this special type of energy. Some researchers have come to believe, just as the legends tell us, that certain people may be able to learn to emit this form of energy from their bodies. known as Kaikung masters. These highly trained individuals often devote their lives to developing the subtle energy. As the Taoist concept of Kai crossed over into the West in recent years, a Western word was coined to describe it. Since Kai has a number of properties that seem similar to those of electrical energy, it is sometimes called bioenergy. This describes the living energy that is native to life rather than to the inanimate forces of nature such as water, power, or lightning. Knowledge related to bioenergy is called bioinformation. Christianity/Judaism/Islam. From biblicaltraining.org. The Spirit of God in the Old Testament is work in general. The Spirit of God, or the Spirit of the Lord, is repeatedly mentioned in all parts of the OT. The term was never used to clearly imply that the Spirit is a person distinct from the Father and the Son. This Trinitarian meaning, which Christians commonly assume in using the term Spirit or Holy Spirit, presupposes and rests upon the events of the Incarnation and Pentecost. In the OT, the Spirit is holy, cf. PS 51:11, not because he is the Holy Spirit in distinction to the Father and the Son, but because the Spirit pertains to God and comes from God who is holy. The Spirit of God is the divine nature viewed as vital energy. This vital energy that comes from God is related both to the world, which is his creation, and to man, the crown of creation. As for the world of nature, in the beginning, General 1, the Spirit of God brooded like a bird on the nest over the formless primeval chaos. As a result, from chaos there emerged the cosmos. The Spirit, as the source of all energy and life, impregnated, as it were, the deep nothingness or formless void, and out of it came forth of the divine behest the vast realm of the created order. Once the creation had been achieved, the same Spirit conserves, renews, and withdraws life by a continuous process in the realm of nature. Job 33:4. PS 33:6. 104:30. Thus the OT justifies the epithet, the one who makes alive, used to describe the Spirit in the Nicene Creed. More on Chakras. From mindbodygreen.com. The 7 chakras are the energy center in our body in which energy flows through. Blocked energy in our 7 chakras can often lead to illness, so it's important to understand what each chakra represents and what we can do to keep this energy flowing freely. Here's a quick summary. 1. Root chakra represents our foundation and feeling of being grounded. Location: base of the spine in the tailbone area. 2. Sacral chakra, our connection and ability to accept others and new experiences. Location: lower abdomen, about 2 inches below the navel and 2 inches in. 3. Solar plexus chakra, our ability to be confident and in control of our lives. Location: upper abdomen in the stomach area. 4. Heart chakra, our ability to love. Center of the chest just above the heart. 5. Throat chakra, our ability to communicate. Location: throat. 6. Third eye chakra, our ability to focus on and see the big picture. Location: forehead between the eyes. Also called the brow chakra. 7. Crown chakra, the highest chakra, represents our ability to be fully connected.
It's very clear once we dive deeper into the religious and ancient documentation that all of the sciences we look at nowadays as scientific revolutions or scientific breakthroughs in ideas are and have been here in front of us all along. There is nothing that our science has proven in more recent times, the last 1,000 years, that we, humans, haven't already known in the past. It's quite clear that we, over time, have segregated ourselves from the knowledge that our ancestors have passed down to us because we couldn't understand it completely. By doing this, humanity has actually dumbed itself down and had to start anew. We have returned to ignorance or lack of knowledge and are only now, after thousands and thousands of years later, realizing that every aspect of these old religions is actually factual. To be more precise, we have rid ourselves of our ancestors' teachings, putting aside our true purpose on this planet, and then rebuild this knowledge surrounded by ideals that are, how do I put this, not in accordance with the elements, energies, and intent of what was truly to be done through our existence. Some of you might be saying to yourselves, well, Rob, you've left out some complete belief systems and understandings of some major civilizations in the past, such as ancient Egypt and one of the first documented civilizations, the Sumerians. What about these? And you've never explained the rest of our body's potential or the existence of the soul. And my answer to your mind would be, patience, my dear reader. We have only just begun.